I have the great pleasure of introducing someone whom I'm sure everybody has been waiting and saying, where is he? Because he's known as the father of GAVI. He was there at the founding. And it's no other than the one and only Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Hello. It's great to be with you all today, although virtually. I want to thank the United Kingdom and Prime Minister Boris Johnson for hosting this summit and for their generosity. They've been one of the world's leading contributors to global health and development, including immunization programs, and have supported GAVI generously from the beginning. I think it's safe to say this is not the kind of replenishment event we envisioned just early this year. It's more remote, but it's also more important. We're meeting at a unique time in history. Never have more people been more aware of the importance of vaccines. As we race to develop a COVID-19 vaccine, we must also renew our commitment to delivering every life-saving vaccine there is to every child on Earth. That is the work that GAVI and alliance partners have been doing for 20 years. And when we come together as a global community to support GAVI replenishment, we're making sure that it can continue to do these things until no child dies from a vaccine-preventable disease. Since its inception, GAVI has helped vaccinate more than 750 million children. It's incentivized researchers to develop vaccines for neglected diseases. It's made new vaccines widely available many years before they would have been available without GAVI. And now it's stepping up and saying it's willing to deliver a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as one is available to end the pandemic as soon as possible. If we didn't already have GAVI, we would have to create it just to solve this crisis. GAVI will also stay focused on the core work while learning how to address COVID-19. It can't let one task slip while it concentrates on the other, because lives and children's futures are at stake in both cases. Our foundation is proud to have been a member of the GAVI Alliance from the beginning. It's the largest single investment we make and one of the best we have ever made. We appreciate the incredible work of GAVI now more than ever. Today, our foundation is pledging $1.6 billion to help GAVI continue its amazing work for the next 5 years. In addition, the foundation is proud to support the new COVID-19 vaccine advanced market commitment with a $100 million contribution to help make sure that when a COVID-19 vaccine is discovered, everyone who needs it can have access, starting with healthcare workers and other high-risk populations. I hope others will consider similar commitments in the coming weeks, including at the upcoming Global Goal Unite for Our Future event on June 27. To all those who pledged, thank you for your generosity. Thank you for making sure GAVI, the Vaccine Alliance, has what it needs and that billions of people can get the great health and opportunities they deserve.
Thank you, Mr. Gates, for joining us at this critical time and for your very generous pledge, which brings us to the end of our event, almost. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's very keen to find out if we've reached the goal today. And joining me now to give his keynote address, we're going to return to London, where the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, has the final numbers. Prime Minister, over to you.
Well, I do indeed, and thank you very much, everybody. As we bring this summit to a conclusion, let me just thank you all for your fantastic generosity and your contributions today. Together, we have replenished this alliance, and here comes the number that you've been waiting for. We have secured a fantastic. I get the scoop. I'm able to reveal it. I'm proud to say we have secured a fantastic $8.8 billion for GAVI's vital work over the next 5 years. So take a bow, everybody. Thank you very, very much. I want to say a particular thanks, obviously, to you, to Bill, and to Melinda Gates for your generosity, your philanthropy yet again, your continued leadership in humanity's battle against disease. Our ancestors had to live with the unavoidable reality that killer pathogens could at any time strike down their children, imposing an incalculable burden of sorrow. But today, thanks to the ingenuity of Edward Jenner, a British doctor originally from Gloucestershire, who pioneered the world's first vaccine, the simple act of inoculating our children can save lives many times over. Vaccines work. People who are vaccinated protect themselves and the rest of the population by lowering the spread and risk of infection. GAVI's work on routine immunization is the strongest shield against outbreaks of infectious diseases. And so it is today that our collective efforts at this summit will now save up to 8 million lives. Our actions, your actions, will also support healthcare systems in the world's poorest countries, which are increasingly victims of coronavirus. So today, we make the choice to unite, to forge a path of global cooperation, and let us also renew our collective resolve to find that vaccine that can, in the end, who knows how soon it'll come, let's hope it comes as soon as possible, that in the end can defeat coronavirus. And for our part, as you may know, the UK has already committed up to £764 million for the global coronavirus response. And I'm proud to say that some of the most promising research into vaccines is happening right here in the UK, supported by our vaccines task force. We are pioneering innovative collaborations that will be needed to manufacture and distribute a vaccine once we found it, like the partnership between AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford. Just as we have, I've been trying to think of the right analogy, but just as we have great military alliances like NATO, where countries collaborate on building their collective military defense. I apologize, all those who aren't necessarily members of NATO, I hope you'll nonetheless see my point. We now need the same spirit of collaboration and collective defense against the common enemy of disease. It will require a new international effort to cooperate on the surveillance and the sharing of information, data. Data is king, that can underpin a global alert system so we can rapidly identify any future outbreak. And it will need a radical scaling up of our global capacity to respond, exactly as Bill set out 5 years ago. So just as Britain has been honoured to host this summit today, you can count on our full contribution as together we rise to fulfill the greatest shared endeavour of our lifetimes, the triumph of humanity over disease, now and for the generations that follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And